of the girls all coming over. Now, before we would get the general manager and our chairman to hand over the championship shield, we would like to invite the NRLWA West Australian Women's Captain to say a few words on behalf of the team and accept the Woody medals from Gary Jack.
Just firstly, I want to thank NRL Victoria and NRL Pathways for putting us on. Very cold for us here in Vic, but it's been great to have a good couple of days of footy. And just to see what the school are putting in and the pathways that are here for the Vic Girls and Cass and Territory teams as well. Thank you to all the coaches, supporters, to our referees, and to all our families that have travelled over with us. It's been a good couple of years since we've been able to get this shield back home. So yeah, we're going to do it tonight and then we're going to take it back. Cheers.
Alrighty, before we do the trophies, I'd like to get the Victorian captain up to say a few words as well.
I just want to thank WA.
Thank you very much to the Victorians. Now I'd like to invite the chairman and general manager from NRLWA to hand over the trophy to the victorious Western Australian women's team. Please get in front of the backdrop with her. Now please can we get the WA team over to accept their medals and get in the photo in front of the backdrop. Big round of applause for our women's class 2025 champions, please.
Welcome back into the final game of the CAS Champs for 2025, all taking place here at Seabrook Reserve in Melbourne's north, and it's WA up against the host Victoria in the men's division. The Western Australian women getting the chocolates in the previous game, taking out the title with a 20 points to 4 win, and the visitors hoping to make it back-to-back titles for their state up against a strong Victorian outfit. Both these teams very evenly matched right across the park. They've both been dominant in their 2025 campaign so far. 100 points already scored by this Victorian side. WA following not far behind with 88 points of their own across the opening 2 games. The game and the title in the balance as Wallace chips it over straight into the hands there of Falamo, who will bring it back before being met by a physical defensive line from Western Australia. The sun is out, as it has done so often across the opening 3 days, and ensuring that we'll have some free-flowing football in this final, as there's going to be an error. He's going to be asked to go back and play the ball. Solani would have been hard done by had he been pinged for the penalty. Instead, he'll go back and play the ball and play resets once more. Coming onto it is Tuivave Mau. Va'ave waits at dummy half. On to Schvalga. His customary carry through the middle. These two sides played off in the deciding game last year. Cubic, one of those players, part of the victorious Victoria campaign. They prevailed 12 points to 10 as Henry shifts it on to Saleh-Finau, trying to put some footwork on his opposite number on that far side. Walker with the kicking duties. Both teams getting to their kicks to start this contest. Quickly swarming upon and taken cleanly at the back there by Manfred Kelly. As WA now work it out of their own end. Those that are there to witness it won't forget the final between these two teams. 2 points, all that separated them in the deciding game last year. We can expect another tight tussle here at Seabrook Reserve. WA work it through the middle now. Siddons. Met there by Henry. Evans waits with the dummy half duties. Gets them up to their own 40-metre line. Evans fires it out. Into the corner they go. Falamo tracking across to take it on the chest once more. His second carry of the contest. Met there by a wall of black and gold jerseys. Solani to take a run out of his own territory. Blair hands it off. Getting in to his work is junior Tuapat Vaemoa. He scored in that 12 points to 10 win last year. Falafita flirting with the sideline and keeps a high shot and earns his side a penalty. Had a number of Rocks and Diamonds performances in the opening 2 days. But no doubt such a weapon out in this left edge. Asking all sorts of questions. He earns his side a penalty right there as Kenny Blair will take the extra metres on offer. So the first real opportunity going the way of the hosts as the ball hits the deck and it's scooped up there by Giovanni Cubic. Playing his local football for the Truganina Rabbitohs in the Storm Premiership. A bit of a tussle there with Evans through the middle. Plenty of feeling between these two teams. No love lost. As the Western Australians no doubt remember the pain of last year's loss. Box office stuff here at Seabrook Reserve. You can't help but get excited as Victoria on the attack. Falamo spots an acre of space and going over in the corner. Saleh-Finau strikes first for Victoria. They get the first points and it's the big right centre that dives over in the corner. The perfect start for the hosts and they grab the first try. On the back of that penalty, Victoria wasting little time in shifting it right, putting it through the hands, going from sideline to sideline. And much to the joy of the big crowd that has joined us here at Seabrook Reserve, it's Saleh-Finau who goes over Both these squads possess plenty of depth right across the park. Their squads featuring all heavily across the opening 2 days. Such given the nature of their dominant wins, they've been able to rotate their players. Western Australia, they kicked off their campaign with a gritty 36 points to 6 win over Northern Territory. It was 6 points apiece coming out of half time before a flurry of tries right after the break set them up for the victory there on day one. Before they did what they had to do against South Australia, prevailing 52 points to 4. While for Victoria, they kicked their campaign off with a scintillating 66 points to 0 win over South Australia before they muscled their way over a gritty Northern Territory outfit, 36 points to 16. And they grabbed the first points in this encounter here this afternoon. Slight breeze going from right to left. Breeze at the Victorians' backs in this first half. As Innocent Tuivave Mao lines up this conversion attempt from the far right corner. Points at a premium in a tight contest like this. He strikes it across the face and it won't have the legs, so 4-0 the score remains. As Kainoa Gudgeon looks to get action underway once more. Coming up against his uncle Manasea Gudgeon, who features for the Victorian outfit. So a family affair out there for the two as they quickly bring it back through Schvalga. He only knows one way, hard and fast through the middle. Big body for this Victorian outfit as now Junior Tuapat Vaemoa in the bright pink boots gets them up to the 40-metre line. Wrestling there as Blair waits at dummy half. Falafita took 4 black and gold jerseys to bring him to ground, still fighting in the play the ball. Fa'ave Falamo finds himself at first receiver, drifting crossfield. He had Walker out the back, decides to bring it forward himself. The Truganina Rabbitohs fullback into Western Australia's half now. Fa'ave feigns left, goes right, steaming onto it. Andrew Henry, what a carry that is on the right-hand side. Sloppy play the ball, and it's going to be an error from the Casey Warriors forward. Just trying to get to his feet quickly, didn't secure the football, and in the end he made a mess of it. So a big let off there for WA, just as Victoria beginning to mount the pressure after that early Salefino try. Chance to get back into the arm wrestle. 2 30-minute halves making up this deciding match. Time off at the discretion of the referee. Working it forward now is Gillett. Copped an elbow to the face there from Schvalga and the penalty is given away. Received plenty of attention, just left rubbing the head. The noggin a little bit sore after receiving that extracurricular activity from the Victorian forward pack. As Wallace picks up an extra 15 metres. Manfred Kelly will tap and go. Proved to be a bit of a try-scoring machine, Manfred Kelly. Out this right-hand wing as they work it now. Looking for points of their own. Evans. Wallace. Rushing up was Finau. Now Wallace. He turns on the afterburners. He tries to get past Falamo, who takes a crucial leg tackle. Victorians still getting back on side. They go down the short side. Gillett, he had the arms chopped there. Kenny Blair's had an air swing at the ball and almost collected his teammate for Ave, who was diving on the football. And the young hooker, fortunate not to cop a stray boot there from the experienced Victorian half. But ultimately the penalty going the way of WA. You could see none of the Victorians had gotten back on side despite Gillett having the ball dislodged. Heavy contact there on Chan Boone. Henry rushing up. Tall timber on tall timber. Slow play the ball, Evans. Now Gudgeon holds up the pass. They're going to try and muscle the way over in the far corner, and they do just that. Beatty goes over, and in response to Victoria's early effort, they go down the other end and score a try of similar vein, and they level the scores once more. Just making Victoria pay for that ill discipline. Double pump from Goodyear, held it up. But still an awful amount of work for Eli Beatty to do. And he did well to beat his opposite number. Too much strength close to the line. And he goes over. Just what the doctor ordered for WA. A chance now for Wallace to add them with a 2-point lead of their own. Just over 12 minutes of action having taken place. 2 tries already scored, 1 apiece. End-to-end action in what is shaping up to be an exciting match between these two teams. Wallace, he strikes it nicely, sitting up against the breeze, and he's denied not by the upright, but the crossbar getting in the way. And for all it remains. Just see that breeze just having a factor in this first half. WA, they'll have it at their backs in the second. How many points does the breeze give you, perhaps? Blair lofts it long. Wallace takes it on the chest, and just getting their wires crossed, they try and work it back towards the middle. Found Goodyear, who finds the big man. That's Malako. And he enters the fray for WA. There's Gillett. Wrestles there with Fa'avate. Malako for his second carry in short succession. Now Siddons, short pass there onto Taumia. Evans, nice roll on this set. Goodyear floating at the back, trying to sniff in and around. And he's quickly brought to ground. Saleh Finau doing the defensive duties on the former Knights product. Chipped in over the top. Once again, Falamo well positioned. Was kept quiet in that opening game against South Australia, in which points flowed rather freely for Victoria before springing to life in that game, as did that man, Solani. Scored a great individual effort. Some serious strength to score that try against the Northern Territory yesterday afternoon. Regardless of the result, going to be 2 sore and tired teams at the conclusion of this match. It's a bruising affair so far as Hacky Edwards enters the fray for Victoria with his first carry. Cubic once again. He has nowhere to go but is able to pop the offload to Fa'avate, who quickly dishes it back Edwards' way. Once more, and now a penalty on the back of it late in the tackle count. Frustration there for Ezra Taumia. Evans involved as well, as Blair will line up this kick for the sideline. Instead, they'll decide to tap and go. Emmanuel Tuariki straight into the action and straight in with the offload. Slight hesitation there by Fa'avate. Blair on to Okamaka Talangi, who winds up. Runs straight towards a fellow big body and Malako, but in his first use of the football, Talangi comes up with the error. Went down with a knee injury in the first half against the Northern Territory. You thought that Okamaka Talangi would not feature for the remainder of the competition for Victoria, but seems to have made a full recovery, but unfortunately comes up with the error for his team right there. On the back of those penalties, it was a good opportunity for the Victorian side to restore their lead. So some slight confusion here. Taulagi making his way over towards the sideline. So after coming up with that error, he's been forced to make way. Not entirely sure the reasoning for that. However, the reinforcements have arrived and play is allowed to continue once more. And now a bit of push and shove. Well, the fireworks already beginning to start between these two teams. We're only halfway through the first half. So grab the popcorn, sit back and watch this game unfold. Plenty of excitement still left in between these two teams. A rivalry that dates back. Now Tierney. Rua, the man in the white headgear, coming on for Taulagi. Driving the legs, looking to pick up the post contacts meters. That's a strong carry. Took 4 Victorians to try and bring him to ground and then draws the penalty. Edwards claiming he was an innocent member of that infringement, but the penalty being awarded there to Taumia. And now Malako winds up and beelines for the small body of Fave, who bravely will take the big man around the legs. Aki Edwards, Malako come together once more. Siddons. Hard and straight, cops the high shot, slipping up high. Western Australia in a hurry to keep things moving. They'll take the ball further forward and straight back into their work. Smith. Now yet another penalty. Victoria have to be careful not to lose a play to the sin bin. Gudgeon just trying to control his team as they look to plead their case to the referee. The captain just showing some maturity there. Careful not to crowd in around the referee, especially given he is the side that has been given the penalty. Victoria on the cusp, need to be clean in this set. Siddons with a slow play the ball. Evans. Now they're working out to this left-hand side of Sparrow. Runs towards Henry. Evans jumps out and dishes in the path of Hiko. Runs at his opposite number of Rua, who makes the tackle. Now to this left-hand side, Gudgeon met in a strong tackle, but it's batted on. A chance over in the far corner. Making a beeline for the try line is Bailey Miller. And he'll lose the ball in the act of scoring. Well, he scored in that game against Victoria last year. And Bailey Miller denied right as he went to promote the ball over the try line. And that's some great scramble defence from Victoria. Once Finau had made the defensive decision to jam in, they had to be good and scramble across in numbers after Bailey Miller picked up the loose football. And Victoria, they survived that raid right there. Solani runs towards Wallace. Blair first receiver. Tuapat Vaemoa. "30 metres out. No way through there for Tumavave Mau. Nice dummy half play. Releases Falafita one-on-one with Wallace. He gets rid of the halfback and breaks through 2 more tackles to get them into WA territory. Well, Malako has to be careful there. Trying to claim that he kept his ground, but he took a little step in. Didn't clear the ruck, and as a result, gives away the penalty. The strong carrier Falafita won't go on the stat sheet, but earns his side a penalty right there. It was the strong carry, isolated Wallace, rushed past the halfback, and then the big prop forward finds himself out near the sideline as Haki Edwards never had full control of that football. And Malako letting him know about it. Those two going toe-to-toe once more. He'd done enough to recover it after the initial bobble, but as soon as he received the contact from the WA defence, the ball spilled free. Ten minutes left in this first half. My name's Simon Rathbone. It's great to have your company wherever you're tuning in around Australia to watch today's proceedings. Two proud states going toe-to-toe. There's a great crowd here at Seabrook Reserve. The Victorians showing up in support. Home factor, no doubt, plays a part in this contest. But unfortunately for the Victorians, WA would love nothing more than to spoil the party, as they did so in the women's match that took place before this. The women prevailing 20 points to 4 in a dominant display. Victorians never really had a look in, as Wallace fires a cutout pass to Corbin Daniels, trying to put some footwork on Blair. And then wrapping around, Djokovic takes the tackle. Daniels with early ball. A wall of blue and white jerseys in front of him. Ball spills out. They're going 6 again. No call coming. Fortunate not to get pinged with the knock-on right there, as Wallace sends it high up into the sky. It's a wobbly old kick. Falamo coming across, and he goes to ground as he collects the football. Solani on to move Ave out. Dancing, high shot slipping up. No call coming. Evans fortunate not to give away the penalty, and then eventually does. Cody Djokovic, he leads the try-scoring tally at the moment with his 3 tries across the campaign. Scored with his first touch of the football in that game against the Northern Territory, having split the dummy half duties with Setu for Ave. Walker jumps in. That dummy half, Salafino, that's Victorian try scorer. Steaming onto it. Geez, they've got some big bodies out in both centre positions, don't Victoria? Hacky Edwards. Tuariki. Early ball hits the deck, and Wallace rushing up on Falamo, who loses his footing, loses the headgear, but doesn't lose his feet because he keeps on going. Brushes past Gudjian before Malako makes the crucial tackle. A slippery customer is Tyrese Falamo. He had no right to break that many tackles, as Blair early ball to a Vaimoa, as Falamo still on the ground. Left worse for wear after that run. And once again, seems to be Emmanuel Malako in amongst all of the ruckus between these two teams, the chief instigator by the looks. Looking to do a job for his team as the key enforcer. So Falamo still on the Seabrook turf as he receives treatment, so we'll take a short break while he receives the treatment he needs. Both teams will get a well-earned rest after what's been a frantic start to this first half. Nothing in it as of yet. 4 points apiece. Salafino scoring in the right-hand corner before Ilebidi responded with a try of his own for WA. So Tyrese Falamo making his way from the field of play, looking rather ginger. This could be a big blow for the Victorian outfit should they lose their star fullback. Would force a reshuffle to their back line. He's already had some bright moments so far in this game. 22-year-old helped from the field. So play back on as time continues to tick away in this first half as they feed the scrum. Let's start at 30 metres out from their own line, Western Australia. Reshuffle for Victoria. Falamo out of the action. Sparrow almost pokes his nose straight through. Henry holding on for dear life around the legs. Evans. Tierney. Oh, strong shot there on Jerkovic. Came again in the second time of asking. Hiko. So Solani lining up at fullback now for Victoria. Wallace shows on the inside but slips as Kenny Blair rushes out to meet his opposite number. Fifth and last now coming up. Goes into the hands of Prowler. South Perth Lions product puts it high up into the sky. It's a wrestle for the football. And it's going to be Victorian ball. Did enough to defuse that kick. Solani, the makeshift fullback. Picked up and driven onto his back of the Seabrook turf. Physical there from the WA defence. Out to this right-hand side. Henry trying to isolate Prowler. Almost loses the ball. Manages to hold on to it. And now a bit of a roll on. Saleh now. Jerkovic dishes it right. Little bobble as Alini is taken high and earns his side a penalty after coming on, fresh of energy off the bench. Wearing the number 5, he was the replacement for Tyrese Falamo. For Ame Alini, a more natural winger, so he lines up on the right-hand side. Hence the shift for Anisi Solani. So with just under 5 minutes left in this first half, it's been a little bit stop-start. Both teams guilty of some ill-discipline. All of a sudden, Victoria find themselves starting their set 20 metres out from the WA line. Hacky Edwards. Little stutter step before launching in to the sea of black and gold jerseys. Jerkovic dishes out left to a Ricky first receiver trying to release Rua on the short pass. Wallace and co doing just enough. He's centimetres shy of the chalk. Jerkovic, he'll chance himself down from dummy half, denied. Wallace making back-to-back tackles crucially for WA. To a Ricky, the makeshift dummy half. Plenty of hands crowding that as they fire it out. Ball hits the deck. It's scooped up there by Falafita. Thought about popping the ball around the corner and then he's driven out over the sideline. Great sliding defence and once again, WA not afraid to let them know about it. Good defence on that occasion from the visitors. Just had to cut back in there, Falafita. Done well to scoop up the ball around the bootlaces. Just trying to take on too much with the danger of the sideline always lurking. And once again, WA hold on. It's about as evenly contested as it could get. And another penalty. The overzealous approach from both teams perhaps resulting in a number of these infringements. Proudler will kick for touch, but it almost goes backwards. I'm not sure if he's lost yardage there. Now, Bailey Miller's tried to pinch a few extra metres rather cheekily, but the referee having none of it. And the touchy will tell them to go back and tap and go from just about where Proudler kicked it. There's a little bobble in the play the ball. Spotted by the referee. Chizuni comes up with the error, and that's a crucial one at that in a game so tight. The door now slightly ajar for another Victorian attack. So set up deep to this left-hand side. Left winger Tuivave Mao set up 20 metres behind the play. What a tackle that is. And he forces the error. Proudler just snuck up down the blind side. Jerkovic didn't see him coming and he dislodges the football. What a big play. Now Tierney. Out to this left-hand side. Gudgeon takes it all the way into the line, allowed to run. Tierney straightening. Chizuni this time. Try and cleanly get to his feet. 90 seconds left in this half. Evans spots the markers not square and jumps out from dummy half. Taken around the bootlaces there by Rua. Chizuni dishes it left. Gudgeon, deft little kick over the top. Well positioned is for Alini. And he'll take it back and be tackled 10 metres out. Tries to get to his feet rather quickly. It's a bit more of a tunnel ball-esque play the ball, but he'll play allowed to continue. 60 seconds remain. Solani. Just going through the motions to finish this first half. Nothing separating these two teams. Well, how about that for a trick play? Kenny Blair chances his hand to Avave Mao, chasing through. It's touched there by WA. Play allowed to continue, but evades the outstretched hands of Junior Tuapat Vamoa. Believe play would have been allowed to continue up until that point. So an opportunity goes begging. Would have been a hard man to stop with a scattered defensive line in front of him. As the seconds trickle down, no surprises. Victoria keen to pack the scrum. WA not sharing their enthusiasm as they now slowly make their way over. Bit of good old-fashioned time wasting from the visitors. Time off called, I believe. As they pack the scrum right as the siren sounds. Solani, one last roll of the dice. Some razzle-dazzle rugby league. Here we go. Finau trying to break through the tackles. He's on a man on a mission. An audacious chip and chase. He'll need a friendly bounce. Wallace back there to collect and he grubbers it dead. And what an end to an exciting first half campaign between two teams. And there's a bit of push and shove for a bit of extra mayo added there by Finau on Wallace as he went to make the ball go dead. And a scuffle breaks out between the two teams. So much history, so much on the line, and it's lived up to the hype. What a great first half of rugby league between these two states, Victoria and WA, adding another chapter to their history story, playing against each other in the combined affiliated states. Halftime not quite upon us with the referee to speak to both captains, you have to think. Coming in late to start the scuffle. This could be a turning point in the game should either side lose a play to the sin bin. Sele Finau, just as he was chasing through that kick, looked to have pushed Wallace a little bit towards the fence, but he'll stay on the field for the second half. Cries of anguish from the WA players. Remains 13-13 for the second 30. Do not go anywhere. This combined affiliated states championship is heating up and we are tied at 4 apiece heading into halftime. As the second half beckons between Victoria and Western Australia in the deciding match of the CAS Champs for 2025 here at Seabrook Reserve. Victoria, the second team to make their way out onto the field. Plenty of feeling between these two teams. John Schvalger just made the scenic route to his position ready for the kickoff, potentially having a few choice words with some of those in the black and gold after a late bit of drama towards the back end of the first half. Already seen a couple of coming togethers from the two teams. I think it's safe to say these two teams do not like each other, as it's a great kickoff from Gudgeon. A dream start. I mean, the ball barely left the tarmac, but he absolutely put his boot through the ball, directed it straight for the sideline, and straight through the legs it went, and he wins the ball back for WA with 4 points apiece here at Seabrook Reserve. An exciting 30 minutes awaits, and Western Australia with first use of the football. A little trick play from the Western Australian captain and fullback right there. Puts his team right back on the attack. Their sole try scored by Eli Beattie. While for Victoria, they opened the account through Saleh Finau. And on the attack they go, WA. Out to this left-hand side, Gudgeon on to Beattie. Trying to hurdle his way over Saleh Finau. Finau left slightly worse for wear. Back towards the middle. Gudgeon first receiver. Stops. Props. Now on to Siddons. Easy prey in the middle. Evans waits. Now Tierney threads the needle, but it's picked up at the back there and winding up, goes straight through. It's a desperate tackle from Siddons, had to be made. And he's left hurt after that coming together. Was just brought down awkwardly. I believe it's Junior Tuapa Vaimoa on the far side. He'd cleaned up the WA grubber, and as they looked to make the tackle, it was Proudler, my apologies, who laid the tackle for WA to deny Tuapa Vaimoa from sprinting off downfield, but unfortunately the left centre has injured himself in the process, so a slight delay to start this second half. Victoria, of course, looking for a third consecutive CAS Champs trophy, while Western Australia looking to reclaim the title they once held. Much like their women who lifted the trophy in the match preceding this one, Western Australia having last held it back in 2022 after going down by 2 points in last year's deciding game, which those who were there remember oh so fondly from a Victorian perspective. It's WA side mean business on a business trip across the country to try and claim back that trophy, and it's very much up in the air as it stands. Just the one try from each team in the opening 30 minutes in what was a gritty affair. And after only 1.5 minutes of play, both teams get an extended break as Junior Tuapa Vaimoa plays the ball. He plays his local football here at Seabrook Reserve, Northern Thunder product. No sign of rain this evening. There's still some blue skies here at Seabrook Reserve. As a result, we've seen some pretty free-flowing footy. The only bit of rain we had in the first game of the day between South Australia and Northern Territory, in which we saw ball handling become quite an issue for both teams. Western Australia, they are just waiting for play to get back underway. Northern Territory, they prevailed in that opening match, 32 points to 4. So they'll finish third on the ladder after South Australia managed to score only the 4 points in that match, and they kicked on for the victory. Saleh Finau, customary strong carry, runs towards Proudler. Now Henry, wearing the number 20 on his back. Ball spills out the back, and it's going to be a knock on. Comes up with the first error of the second half. So a great position for WA to receive the football. 45 metres out from the Victorian line. Proudler feeds the scrum. Evans dishes it out. Tierney. On to Daniels. Slow play the ball. Blair the tackler. Wrestling there through the middle of the field. Believe that's Smith. Play allowed to continue. Siddons drops it under for Hiko. Wrestling there, Wishfalga. Siddons first receiver, takes it deep in the line, throws the dummy. Cops a high shot. Slipping up there, Wishfalga. And they're going to take the 2 points. Well, points at a premium in a tight contest such as this one. To edge ahead rather than have a full set attacking the Victorian line. An interesting call from WA. To give themselves a lead, it'll be Tamahu Tierney with the goal kicking duties. So that penalty by Schvalga directly going to be punished on the scoreboard if Tamaho Tierney can knock this one over successfully. Taking his time to line up this attempt. And inside the first 5 minutes of the second half, Tierney adds the 2 points. WA, for the first time in this contest, they hit the lead, leading 6 points to 4 over Victoria. So it's been a bright start to this second half from Western Australia. It started from the resumption of play with Gudjian finding the sideline with that rather clever kick-off, and now a much more conventional one from Victoria works it forward. Looking to complete after points. Malako gets the late offload at the back. No room there for Tierney, trying to orchestrate something out of nothing. Easy pickings for the big man Kubik, who wraps him up. Siddons calling for it for the middle. Dishes off. Bypasses Malako. Gudjian. Low driving kick towards Solani. Was Tyrese Falamo forced to make his way from the field midway through the first half. So a backline reshuffle for Victoria. Sunbury Tiger is lining up a fullback. See an attempted strip there from Western Australia. That's what Solani's complained to the referee about, and the touchy. He managed to hold on to the football, and as a result, no call coming. Falafita, no way through. He's put onto his back. Blair intervening and trying to dislodge the Western Australian defence, who was lying on top of him. Tuariki, flat-footed. Can be a hard man to handle, Tuariki, once he gets going, having been put on his back there. He comes up with the error. High fives all around, high energy from Western Australia. Victoria just struggling to get out of the blocks here in the second half. They started the brighter of the two teams in the first, but it's been all the visitors so far in this second half. Just slightly off the pace. And in a game as tight as this one, just how crucial that can be. So, of course, Victoria have the home advantage of sleeping in their own bed before coming together to play. Whereas the travel certainly will play a factor for your teams such as WA, especially such a long trip across. As Goodgian takes on the back of the scrum, but it can galvanise a squad. Coming together, spending time with the teammates, buying into their process here as Goodgian taps and goes, looking to catch Victoria napping. He's had a strong start to this second half, runs himself into a cul-de-sac and eventually has to pull up and submit to the tackle. Sparking something for his team here. And the flag goes up. Touchy just alerting the attention of the referee. Goodgian wasn't happy with the treatment he received in the tackle. Had a few words to the man at marker. Perhaps that's the infringement that the touchy saw on that far side. Didn't feature too heavily in their opening couple of games. Kanoa Goodgian, the captain for WA. Standing up when it matters most in the big moments so far. As Blair being spoken to by the referee, and there it is, that infringement. The second effort spotted by the touchy, and as a result, a penalty going the way of WA. Momentum swinging in the visitors' favour right here. Up by 2, looking to extend their lead. Smith. Driven backwards. This time it's the Victorians that return serve defensively. Cubic, oh, that's silly. Pushing Edwards and giving him a how you doing afterwards. Needs to be careful. As Malako wrestles. It's getting physical, it's getting frantic, and Evans leaves it behind as Fave tries to scoop it up and take it back the other way. So an error. And then Henry coming in to let him know about it. Victorians need to be careful here. Cannot afford to lose a player to the sin bin for the nonsense taking place after the play has ended. They're trying to get in the heads of the Western Australians. They are towing the line right now. Just feel this contest is bubbling away under the surface, threatening to break right open. Salafino dislodges the attempted tackle there of Beattie. Down that same corridor, Beattie unable to make the tackle once more. Schvalga plays it as Salafino puts the ball down and receives a shot after the play. Referee allowed play to continue. Evans stood his ground on the bigger man. Now Mako. Hiko, I should say, apologies. He's trying to find his front. Evans waits. Siddons shows it, runs towards Talangi. So the error now opening the door for Western Australia. Proudler keeps it moving on. This time Smith. Taken there by Tuariki and Talangi. Proudler first receiver. Goodgian wrapping around, shows the dummy, breaks the tackle, pops the ball around the corner. They tried for the miracle pass back on the inside. Bailey Miller had nowhere to go. Victoria survive. And they chance their hand, but this time denied in the far left corner. We're in the left-hand corner down here at Seabrook Reserve. So the sliding Victorian defence doing enough. Number 11, Alti Porter, has entered the fray for the home side. As he feeds the scrum. Taken there by Beattie. As Tuamvave Mao works it forward. Solani, strong. So strong for a winger. Bounces away from 2 tackles, gets them up to the 30-metre line. Victoria just need to complete a set here in the second half. Tuariki straight in behind the markers. Oh, that's a crazy offload, but it'll work. Why not? Fave. He picks it up and keeps going downfield. High risk there from Emmanuel Tuariki, and he goes again. Now some footwork. And all of a sudden they find themselves in West Australia's half. Kenny Blair out to this left-hand side. Cubic first receiver. He just keeps it going. Hurls the ball back inside for Ave. Basketball pass over the top for Tuariki. That's Champagne Rugby League. Here goes Talangi. The big man tries the cutout pass. Finau onto Alini for the corner. That's the try of the tournament just about. And what a time to produce it. Unbelievable scenes at Seabrook. What a way to respond from the Victorian side. Went through several hands. Front rowers throwing cutout passes. Hail Mary offloads. It had it all. And Fa'ama Alini, after coming into the contest, dives over in the corner. Well, it all started on the back of that risky offload from Emmanuel Tuariki, and then he was at the thick of it once more. Kept the ball alive, hurled it out the back, and then Okamaka Talangi threw the cutout pass, which was taken by Finau, who then just quickly handed off to his winger, and like all good finishers, got the job done in the corner. So after WA opted to take the 2 points with the penalty goal, it's the Victorians who make them pay on the scoreboard in the form of a 4-pointer to bring themselves out to a 2-point lead of their own. Kick to come, Alti Porter. Fresh legs coming off the bench with the goal-kicking duties from this near sideline. He's got a bay of support. Big crowd right behind him. You'd have to imagine a large proportion of them are local Victorians supporting their state. Wheeling this ball over the black dot. Porter takes his time lining it up. No stranger to the kicking tee. Takes on the duties for the Sunbury Tigers in the Storm Premiership here in Melbourne. Alti Porter, an experienced campaigner, brings a wealth of experience to this state setup. Having taken home Player of the Year honours in the Storm Premiership in the years gone by. Big kick coming up with 16 minutes left in this deciding match of the Cass Champs here at Seabrook. Porter, he steps in. It's going across the face, and that's where it's going to stay. 8 points to 6 the score. Victoria leading over WA. Fa'ama Alini, the try scorer on that occasion. So once again, it's that right side attack of Victoria that get the job done. Saleh Finau scoring the opener before Alini there, the most recent try scorer. So all the action's been down that side of the field. Milo Beatty. And it's another heads-up play from Western Australia. Well, they've won the football back, and that's not for the first time in this second half. Just how pivotal will that be? And Goodyear now just calling for calm heads. See the experience there of the fullback leading from the front. From a Victorian perspective, they were fooled once on the earlier kickoff, but to happen again is almost criminal. Sparrow straight back into his work. WA would love a try in response right here. Tamia. Last tackle coming up. They haven't been afraid to run it on last, or will they put it to the boot? Proudler thought about passing, puts it on the boot. Alini chasing back and bats it dead with Bailey Miller hot in his collar. So a great response to conceding that earlier try from the visitors. Miller, who lined up at fullback in the absence of Goodgin in the previous games, finds himself on the left wing, and he was chasing through on the end of that kick as Porter stayed on the ground. Not sure how he hit the deck. Might have been Proudler chasing through his own kick, perhaps, coming together of the two players. So both teams in the crowd can just take a breath. Momentary pause in play while Porter receives treatment. We knew going into this contest, this was more than likely how it was going to play out. It's very rarely going to be a one-sided affair. There's really not much that separates these two states. Year on year, they continue to deliver top quality performances. Means so much for them to represent their respective states, as that kickoff is going to go out on the full as Victoria opted for the short dropout. And now a chance for WA to level scores right back up. Or do they chance their hand and try and hit the lead outright? You'd have to imagine they take the 2 here. No, not the call. They won't take the 2 on this occasion. They would rather risk it for the biscuit and try and take the lead outright than tie the scores in this deciding match. Brave call from the WA attack. Let's see if it'll pay off for them here. Proudler drifting, scheming. Can't create something. No numbers in and around the football as he had the hands free. Out to this right-hand side, Tierney quickly rushed up, was Tuariki. He missed the assignment. Eventually polished off by Kenny Blair. Prowler rushing up to Lungi. He couldn't get him. And seized upon there, looking for a quick play the ball. Victorians keen to put a shot on, but they haven't been able to nail their assignment as of yet. Much more conventional now for Chanboon. 5th and last coming up for WA. Having opted to not take the 2. Let's see if they can be rewarded in the form of 4 points. Goodgian trick play back through the inside. Well read. Hurls it over the top. Some ad-lib football. Here goes Tierney. Right foot step. Trying to pop the ball around the corner. Does so. Daniels scheming. Numbers across for Victoria. And is going to be denied. Resolute Victorian defence. WA throwing plenty at them in that passage of play. Once again, not afraid to run it on last. We've seen them find joy from that tactic across the duration of the tournament, but this time, close but no cigar. Tuariki, tough meters on offer. Well, that's it. If the first offload was risky, that one is extreme. Head coach Jason Wah, surely heart and mouth stuff. Emmanuel Tuariki, someone needs to tell him to keep the offload in the top drawer for now. He's about 5 metres out from his own try line. His state leads by 2 points. And he's throwing a 50-50 ball back. And fortunately for Victoria, a teammate was on the spot to dive on the football. As again, just another Victorian player down in back play after copping a knock there. So 12 minutes left in this contest. So there's certainly been a stop-start nature to this second half. See the food trucks making their way out of the grounds after providing for everyone across the 3 days. It's been a great event of rugby league here in Victoria. All 4 states coming together. Great celebration of the growth of rugby league across 3 states and territory. There's a strong run here from Cubic. Manhandling the WA defence. Now Djokovic. Try scoring dummy half. No joy for him there. Daniel's standing his ground. Slow play the ball as a result. Falafita been well maintained so far in this contest. Looking for a quick play the ball. Gets them back up towards the middle of the field. Porter, cut out pass onto Finau, allowed to canter forward and pops the ball around Alini. He's going to grub her ahead to himself, and it's taken a hand there from Gudgeon. So a fresh set coming up now for the Victorians. Alini just trying to thread the needle over the top of the WA fullback who stuck out a paw but couldn't reel the ball in. No surprises, it's the Victorians favouring that right edge. Kenny Blair delivering early ball to Sele Finau, who's a big body out here on the right-hand side. Bailey Miller and Eli Beattie having a lot of questions asked of their edge defence. Talangi. The front row with a cutout pass in his repertoire apparently. Out to this left-hand side, Blair. He bypasses one. Tuaput Vaeamoa. He's going to be at risk of being bundled a touch here if he's not careful. Somehow stays in the field of play. Falafita. Beelines for the line. Victoria knocking on the door. Long pass back. Jerkovic on to Talangi. He straightens up the attack. 10.5 minutes left in this deciding match. Cast champs on the line. Porter waits for it. It's a looping old pass to him. Solani on to Finau. Couldn't get over the top of Beattie, who stood his ground. Solani with dummy half duties. Their back goes towards Porter, who puts the ball down. Just an unforced error. Puts the hand up in apology. And at the end of that, their set comes to nothing. These big games are made up of moments. WA opting to take the 2 points earlier in the half and then not taking the 2 on offer to level scores. Just how crucial will that be in the context of this game as Miller draws the high shot. Nicely done there by the winger. Just catching out the tired middle forwards through the middle who slipped up high. Tierney lofts it long. They'll start their set 45 metres out from their own line. Here comes Gillett. Back into the fray for WA. Wrestling there. No quick play the ball on offer. Chan Boone. Likewise, he's back into the contest. Yet to see when Malako enters the fray. Ezra Taumia. Evans, down the short side they go. Proudler slips free of one. Now Gudgeon drifting crossfield. Cut out pass goes the way of Gillett, who puts the ball down. He needs to dive on it with Tuaput Vaeamoa sniffing in and around the loose ball. So WA couldn't make the most of that good field position. No doubt fatigue beginning to set in for both teams as it's been a grueling affair so far. Granted, there has been a couple of stoppages in this second half already just for injured players, which has allowed both teams to catch their breath. WA looking to make it a double and assert their dominance on the trip across to Victoria, with the women having defeated Victoria 20 points to 4 in the previous game if you're just joining us. Grandstand finish. Set up right here. The hosts leading by 2. My name's Simon Rathbone. It's great to have your company here on the broadcast of today's game. If you've been joining across the first 3 days of action, it's come to a fitting finish here. 2 states battling it out with a high quality game of rugby league on display. Tuariki. Jerkovic. Blair drops it under. Rua. Fresh legs now for Victoria. Strong carry from the bench forward. Porter. Links with Finau. Hurdles over the top of Smith. 5th and last for Victoria. Jerkovic takes the chance to scoot out from dummy half. Well-weighted grubber. Gudgeon under all sorts of pressure and he'll be pinned deep inside his own territory. The perfect place to hand over the football when you have a 2-point lead. Looking to bring home the silverware as they muscle up, and Miller, he throws the ball back in. Finau pounces on Beattie. Miller was at risk of being thrown over the sideline. He's going to be asked to go back and play the ball where he was originally taken. So he threw the late offload because he thought he was going to get taken into touch. But according to the referee, the tackle had been completed, and hence he'll go back and let out of the woods right there, WA. But they've still got some tough meters to try and gain. Goodgin first receiver. That's a lovely shift. Victoria, they weren't expecting it. And now they go through the other side. It's a desperate tackle from Tuapat Vayamoa to bring him to ground. Just what the Western Australians needed. Now, Tierney with room to move. He just breezes past one, trying to keep his feet. Slips another tackle before eventually succumbing to the tackle of Solani. Last play coming up for WA. Solani has to be careful. They go down the short side. Was that the play? Cheaming through. It's a great take. He's going to race away. Kelly scores for Western Australia. They went down the short side. There's Victorians on their haunches. And he plucked it out of the sky to give Western Australia the lead once more. Well, he flew like a bird and he outleapt his opposite number there. Very little Victoria could do. And that's a huge play from Manfred Kelly. And with a kick just about to the right of the uprights, WA with a chance to bring it out to a 4-point lead. Well, just when it looked like Western Australia were going nowhere in that set, camped deep into their own territory. Just a heads-up play. Goodgin, he's put an early shift. Victoria were caught unaware on that left edge. Made 50 metres on the run. And despite being set up to the left-hand side, the kick was perfectly weighted in the end for a flying Manfred Kelly. How's the try celebration pointing to the six-pack? He might have just given his side 6 points. A crucial 6 points at that. Just under 5 minutes left in this game. This is a very important kick for Tamaho Tierney. It would mean Victoria have to score a try if they want to keep their title defence alive. Two years in a row, Victoria have lifted the shield. Western Australia out to spoil the party as they look for a third as Tierney adds the extra 2 points. The short kickoff, it's not going to have the legs. They went for the all or nothing play right there, Victoria. It was still time. 3.5 minutes remaining. They went for the Hail Mary. And unlike WA, who have won the ball back twice off their kickoffs, they're going to give them a penalty right on halfway. Don't be surprised if WA is tap and go rather than kick for touch. Tamaho Tierney backing himself to find the distance. Victoria need to line that sideline in case he doesn't find the sideline, but no mistake is made. Clutch moment there from Tamaho Tierney. Might seem like a simple matter of finding touch. But how many times have we seen a player make a crucial error like that when body starts getting a little bit more tense? You can see the finish line right in front of him. A try here would seal the victory for Western Australia, who have come from the clouds. Malako. Late offload. That'll do. Gillett. Wrestling there, and Malako in a little arm wrestle with Goodgin. Henry has comes flying up off the line, but Malako bypasses him. Runs straight towards Rua, who stood his ground. Slow play the ball. Working it forward. Evans waits. They would love a repeat set here. Proudler, Goodyear, quick hands. Beattie to win it for WA. They've done it. Eli Beattie seals it. It's signed, sealed, delivered. And WA have spoiled the party here at Seabrook Reserve. They have wrestled the trophy back west. The Victorians led in the late stages, but 2 tries at the death will do the trick. And a double for Eli Beattie in a crucial encounter. Out to an 8-point lead, kick to come. No way back now for Victoria. Simple shift down this left-hand side and they strip them for numbers. Well, after coming oh so close last season, WA, they exact their revenge. High fives all round as Tamahotiani will wipe a few more extra seconds off the clock. Tierney just held the ball up, engaged the interests of the right edge defence of Victoria. Didn't need his man on the outside and just went through to score himself after Manfred Kelly gave them the lead just a few minutes ago. Tamaho Tierney, it'll start out to the left-hand side and it'll be waved away. But crucially for them, it's a lead that's extended beyond a converted try, so it'll matter very little. Celebrations already beginning. And Western Australia reclaim a title they haven't held since 2022. And they do it on enemy soil. 16 points to 8 winners over Victoria in a thrilling match here at Seabrook Reserve. They complete the double, the women lifting the trophy, and now the men, they get the job done. It was a late flurry. They left it late, but they got the job done nonetheless. Victoria, they were spirited. They had a chance to see out the conclusion of this match and make it 3 straight wins in the combined affiliated states champs. But it wasn't to be. It's WA. A double to Beattie, crucially giving them the 8-point win. But it was the catch from Manfred Kelly that really sparked them to life, gave them the lead when it looked like they were trapped down their own end. Just produced a moment of magic, and that was all that made the difference. Tries to Salifi now and Fatima Alini. Not enough for the Victorians, who can hold their head high after another successful campaign, but unfortunately they fall just short this time round. WA, they do it in both the men's and the women's division. 2025 combined affiliated states champs. And they'll be celebrating all the way back out west, no doubt. My name's Simon Rathbone. It's been great to have your company across the 3 days of action here at Seabrook Reserve. We can't wait to get back and do it all again next year. Over and out for now.
WA. These are races to
Second row to start with, moved over the front row.
lots and lots of talent out there on the fields today.
Down the second row, number 20.
Yeah, number 20.
Now, before we get to the presentations, I just want to thank all of our supporters. Can we get a big cheer for NRL VIC for all their work for here at Seabrook Reserve this weekend. And we want to thank all the referees who attended across the states and territories in the last 3 days. Fantastic job. Get Brad Silver to give them their medals. From Victoria, we have Jonathan Nicholas. And Achilles now. From SA, Andrew Hardy and Thomas Hudson.
When she went to London,
From Western Australia, Alex Maggio.
Victoria number 1.
From the Northern Territory, James Shaw. Tony Hardy, the referees, coordinator, and the coaches, David Nicholas, and David Fitzgerald.
Yeah, so
Can I please get a round of applause for all of our referees across the weekend? We wouldn't have a game without them.
Let me just confirm that. He, fullback.
Now, we wouldn't have these great games without both teams. I would like to invite up the captain of the Victorian team who say a few words on behalf of their team and staff.
L.I.B. He's West Australia. Carl from Newcastle over here. He's the other one. Steve Ross is the winger. Bishop is here. Bishop number 6. From Jerry Wallace is here. Tony's the front row from WA.
Shout out to the boys from WA, they should go here. Give us a good run. And finally, to you boys. And to Sunshine and the territory as well. Thank you to all the rest.
Now I'd like to invite up John Saxon, General Manager of the WA, to present the team medals to the captain of the WA team and the captain to say a few words.
Talangi. Number 10, Talangi, yeah. Andrew Henry is Victorian.
Full credit to our boys here for some adversity. Our trainers, our coaches, our staff, well prep for the whole weekend. Our discipline, I think, really proud. We're in the service. We have to take that trophy home. Thank you.
Alrighty, don't go anywhere. Can we please invite Bob Cronin, the ARLCWA chairman, to present the trophy to the WA captain, and then the WA team to please join their captain in front of the backdrop. Congratulations, Western Australia. Our best Ladies and gentlemen, while they're setting up for their photo, I will be witness to not thank and please big round of applause for our Victorian men's team. Very gallant in their defeat today. Big round of applause for Victoria, please. Please do not go anywhere. We are going to now announce the merit teams for the women's and men's tournament. have selected 18 players. So selectors have been included 3 representatives across the 3-day carnival, and they have been judged to be the best 18 players as a result. Alright, and representing we have had Harley Hooker from New South Wales Rugby League, NRL Partners Mike Hussey, and lastly, Roy from the Melbourne Storm, who will now present the medals to the following. Alright, here we go. At fullback, the Victoria number 1, James Elton. Please, ladies, come out and get your medals. Gates here. On the wing, from the Northern Territory, number 15, Jacinda Summers. In the centers, WA number 3, Zion Collier. The other center, Victoria number 3, Georgina Herrero. On the other wing, from WA, number 16, Samantha Treherne. At flight of 8, Victoria's number 6, Rebecca Elio. At halfback, WA's number 7, Haley Thompson. One prop forward, from WA number 8, Claudia Foster. The hooker, WA's number 9, Macy Shipkins. The other prop forward, Northern Territory's number 13, Ellie Hickey. In the second row, WA's number 11, Katarina Hora. And the other second rower, WA's number 15, Brianna Young. At the lock forward, Northern Territory's number 3, Kel Nona. On the interchange bench, WA's number 14, Ruby Hodgson. Victoria's number 7, Rochelle Tierney. WA's number 6, Mahina Rani Claire. Victoria's number 13, Summer Atalana. And our 18th player and final forward for the team, South Australia's number 9, Tia Matayo. The winner from Victoria, Judy Djokovic. The other prop from Victoria, Okomakatali. In the back row, from Victoria, Andrew Henry. And the other back rower, from Victoria, Football Olympica. And left, from Victoria, Emmanuel Kuariki. Now the interchange bench, from the Northern Territory, Brad Hansen. From South Australia, Daniel Bowie. From WA, Bailey Miller. And our 17th and final